G'day gamers, Gob here. Welcome back to Gob's Quickies. Now, do you believe that I've got a story for you today about bees? Because I got honey in one hand and honeycomb in the other, and I have a hankering for some unbelievable builds today. Okay, shall I stop with the bee jokes? We don't wasp to do it all day. Okay, that was pretty poor. Sorry, I promise I won't do any more. But what I thought I'd do today is go through a basic build for a honey and a honeycomb farm. Now, I can't give credit for this to any one person, because I've taken a bunch of ideas and I've modified them for my own. And you know what? There's a lot of different versions of honeycomb and honey farms out there. Some use observers, some use comparators, but this one here today that we're going to use is just using an observer block. So it can be more efficient. If you use a comparator, you can get a better signal from the beehive or the bee's nest, but it takes up a little bit more space. So what I've tried to do here is reduce efficiency to get a space saving reduction. Right. So, as you can see behind me, I've got here a system which has got 3 hives. You probably can't see it amongst all those bees there. I've got 2 set up for honey and 1 set up for honeycomb. It's basically this module here expanded. And this is what I'm going to teach you to do today. This module behind me. Okay? Right, and to do this build, you're going to need an area 6 wide and 6 deep. Now that allows for 1 spot here for a chest, so you could reduce that if you used a single chest, and 1 spot at the back for the redstone. If you're going to pretty it up and hide all the functionality, then you'll need to make it probably another deep, so make it 6 by 7. For this build, you're going to need a couple of chests, 6 hoppers, a building block of your choice which is conductive. I've used stone bricks in this case, a bee's hive or bee's nest, some glass. Now I've chosen yellow stained glass because it's a bee looking, an observer, a dispenser, a flower of your choice, some redstone dust, a stone brick stair, some slabs, and whether you want honey or honeycomb. If you want honey, you want glass bottles. If you want honeycomb, you want shears. Right, so I'll just grab this stuff. Now, optional extras. You're going to need some leaves to decorate your build with, some different types of stone for texturing, some ladders, some fences, and some light sources. Right, so let's get into the build. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so 6 by 6. First things we want to do is put down the redstone side of it. Now, what we're going to do is this will be where our flower goes. That's going to be a hopper. That's going to be a hopper. And our beehive goes above this location. Now we're going to need some temporary blocks because we want to put a dispenser right here facing down. So the dot where the items come out of is facing down, and it's going to be facing right in to our beehive. Clear out a 3 by 2 space here, and we want to put down our chests. That one there and that one there. In this case, we're going to use a double chest. We want to put hoppers going into the chest all the way along there, and what you want to do is you want to check that the nozzles are facing the right way. See, facing into that one, flows into that one, flows into the chest. We want to put a hopper on this block here, facing into that hopper, on this block here, facing into that hopper, this block here, facing into that hopper. There you go. What we want to do now is put down some blocks to surround our build. Not there, sorry, there. Skipping the one over the chest. And there you go. Now we want to remove these temporary blocks. And what we want to put on this block here, the one immediately behind where the dispenser is an observer. And we want the observer so the little red dot, which is the output from the observer, comes out the back. And the little observer face is happily looking at this block here, which is immediately under the dispenser. What we're going to do now is this observer, when it sees a change in front of it, will send a redstone signal out the back of the observer. We want it to power this block here. So this block, when the observer sees something, gets a redstone signal, which we want to power that bit of redstone dust, which powers that bit of redstone dust, and will power our dispenser. And then in our dispenser we're going to put what we want. In this case I'm going to put shears because I want some honeycomb. Okay, we're nearly done. Just going to neaten it up and enclose some of our areas. Now we can't enclose this one because if we put a solid block there, we can't open our chest. So what we want to do here is we want to put a stone brick stair. And we'll do it so that it's facing upside down and inwards. Okay, to do that, look at that point there on the block, the top far corner. And now it looks like a solid wall from the outside, but we can still open our chest. We'll put down our flowers. Okay, it can be any type of flower, just use the single size ones. And we put down some glass. And we're only going to put one row of glass here at this stage. Okay, and I'll just do it level with wherever actually, we'll just do it to almost level where the dispenser is. Okie doke. And we will fill in the areas around the dispenser like that. We'll get our slabs and we'll cover the top up. But what we'll do is we'll leave one gap there. If you're doing this in survival mode, then your beehive will probably already have bees in it. I can't get up. Okay, I might have to do that bit last. We'll put our beehive down here. And we'll close this area up. And if we were in survival and we had bees in our beehive, they would now be happily buzzing around. Right, don't need these markers anymore, so I'll just take them away. And what we can do now is we can just neaten up the build. Now you have a choice of what you can do here. If you want to be able to see your redstone, you can just do that. Just do a basic. At the moment, what we want is leave that dispenser exposed so we can access it, and you can put a set of stairs going up the back, or a ladder, or something like that. Now the bees will fly around happily, they'll get pollen from the flowers, and then they'll go into the beehive. And when they do their business in the beehive and exit it, changing the honey level, the observer will detect a state change of the beehive. It'll send a redstone signal around, it'll hit the dispenser will do whichever it's going to dispense, whether it be a bottle or a shears. In this case it'll be shears, and the goodies will get chucked out, land on these hoppers, and get brought down into this chest. That's the theory. We'll let that run. Meanwhile, I'll go and show you this system over here. So this system's been running a while, and we're producing a reasonable amount. Now, as I said, this is not optimum. This is designed that you can tailor it to whichever one you want. Okay, so every time there's a state change, the dispenser will fire. If it has empty bottles in it, it'll fire a bottle. Now, the bottles will only fill with honey when the beehive is fully filled with honey. Okay, so if it's not fully filled and a bottle's fired, then the bottle will just be ejected empty. Okay, and that's why we're getting empty bottles. If we wanted to have a specific honey farm, then going with a comparator option is a much better way to go. But we didn't go that way. So we'll just put these bottles back in, and that's why we have a system here that allows us to get up the top. See, that's firing away quite happy. I'll just close this up. Okay, so I've got access here to our dispensers. I've got a ladder at the back to get up there, and all our goodies are being ejected down into the chest. Our modularized one over here is producing honeycomb, and let's see if these guys have actually done anything yet. Not yet. They probably haven't got in there and done enough business. We'll just give them an opportunity to do their business in the hive, and we'll be right back. Okay, so our bees have been in and out of their hive. Let's see if there's anything in there. And yes, we have some honeycomb. Happy days. Now, I will point out that there is a chance of the honeycomb being ejected out onto the block where the flowers are. I'm not concerned about that, but if you are, then this may not be the best design. It does have a slight efficiency loss, but I quite like it. It's small, it's compact, and it works. And you can expand it out to that to make a dual honeycomb and honey farm. So there you go. Can you believe how simple that was? Okay, I know, I promised I wasn't going to do any more bee jokes. Naughty gob. Anyway, that was a simple honey and honeycomb farm. If you liked it, please give it a like. Don't forget to put a comment. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It really does mean a lot to know that the content I'm creating is being watched out there by all you wonderful people. But until next time, hooroo!